Nigerians and not defecting politicians will decide 2027 elections. It does seem as though a number of politicians are very, very optimistic as to what's going to happen in 2027. Other people, political observers, close associates of political happenings have also come out to saying that, hey, there's not going to be a lot of rancor. I mean, in fact, there might be surprises, but there will not be any rancor because the people's votes will count. Little wonder, INEC is also tasking the National Assembly to speed up moves to ensuring that there is a reform for the INEC, right? And the INEC too has also come out to seeing how they can put out a law that should indeed mandate the president to take his hands off the appointment of RECs. That's RECs, right? Okay, so all of these and many more is what we'll be looking into in the discourse this morning. Nigerians, not defecting politicians, will decide 2027 elections. Fadojoe and the El-Rufai, of course, being very prominent in making this statement. And it makes us wonder whether or not Nigeria has come to that point, whether Nigerians are really ready to indeed become the ones to drive the conversation when it comes to 2027 deciding poll for the presidency. Well, my name is Udwak Daniel, and I'm not alone in the studio.
All right. Good morning, UD, once again.
Good morning to you, Cassie.
Nigerians. Thank you so much for joining us here again as we have these conversations.
Right.
I am Cassandra Unumbe.
Right. So the recent wave, Cassandra, of political defections in Nigeria, it has really sparked, an intense dialogue, especially about the country's political landscape. And Fadojoe, who is a former Labour Party presidential aspirant, and Nasir El-Rufai, a former governor of Kaduna State, they have both emphasized that Nigerians and not defecting politicians will decide the outcome of the 2027 general elections. But according to the stories, as we found it with Vanguard News, right, Fadojoe expressed concern over the state of the nation, the warning that Nigerians cannot continue on its current trajectory, particularly with politicians prioritizing power over the welfare of the people, right? And Fadojoe also criticized the ongoing wave of political defection, stating that suffering Nigerians, not politicians switching parties, cross-carpeting, defecting, jumping camps, however, whatever the name you might want to call it, right? Not these people will determine the outcome of the 2027 general elections. In fact, he cited that this is a a minimal few of the Nigerian populace, and they don't have the numbers to deciding what will be come 2027. So he urged that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other political leaders should show greater concern for the nation's worsening security crisis. Fadojoe also called on Nigerians to obtain their voters card and prepare to bring about the real change, advocating for young, capable and visionary leaders. But now El-Rufai was not also out in the discourse, as El-Rufai also took it a notch higher, echoing, similar sentiments, as well as emphasizing that governor's defection won't significantly impact the 2027 elections. Well, as a Nigerian, though, I have witnessed, firsthand the impact of political instability. I don't know if you have, especially on our country's development. I mean, you and I can see it left, right, and center. We are not blind to seeing. We're not blind to noticing some of these things. I mean, many citizens are yearning for leaders who genuinely care about their welfare as well as prioritize the nation's progress over personal gains. Now, the recent wave of defections has raised questions about motivations of politicians politicians and the potential consequences for our democracy. Big names, big wigs are defecting, leaving the PDP, yeah, that's right, leaving the Labour Party, leaving the NNPP into the All Progressives Congress. I'm beginning to think that, well, maybe it's a win-win for the APC. Probably there must be something APC is doing rightly that's allowing for these ones to defect.
Now, when it comes to politics
Yeah.
and governance in Nigeria, it seems like there are two different things altogether.
Right.
And when we say that Nigerians or suffering Nigerians would determine the elections, it could be relative. Yes, I think that's every election season. But let me first of all start by saying that I think it's with heavy heart that we are talking about 2027 already.
In 2025.
When we are yet to survive to reach 2027 to a point where we as Nigerians, we are not even sure if we can reach to that extent, because there are people every day the number multiplies. It's not Cassandra saying it, it is data that is saying it, it is the statistics that are saying it, that more Nigerians are likely to be poor and everything. But let's leave the concern for governance and talk about politics, isn't it? Now, when you come to the political perspective of governance in Nigeria, or what you would say politicians moving from one party to another, they would always move. Because if you look at politics, it's about the interest. It depends on where your interest would be served. Those who are moving to the APC today, it's likely they'll move to another party tomorrow, depending on where the wind will blow. Because those that actually made the APC were also in the PDP. And I think that there was a time in this country when Nigerians were told that, oh, we are going to rule for over 50 years and nothing is going to be done about it. But what happened? So it's always going to change. But if we talk about this statement coming from very prominent stakeholders in the Nigerian political scene, I would say that it is difficult to vouch for Nigerians. You may say, yes, it is very difficult to vouch for Nigerians. You will say, oh, Nigerians are suffering. They are going to decide. And everybody will be so vocal and saying everything right now.
Yeah.
But when it's time to vote, when it's time to put in the work, you would see that people are either getting compromised, people are either being so sitting on the fence, they don't want to go out and vote. There is that level of silence that suddenly engulfs people. You see people sitting on the fence in very critical times, like our elections. So when I hear people say Nigerians are going to decide, with all due respect, we have a lot of Nigerians who are very determined to see this country work.
Right.
But how many of these Nigerians would actually determine this? Now, let's even take it away from the side of, oh, Nigerians can actually go vote. Will the environment be sane enough? Will it be conducive enough for Nigerians to vote? Let's not forget what happened in 2023. We still remember when people almost lost their eyes. Some people allegedly lost their lives as to the hostile voting system. And let's not forget the fact that people's pictures were being uploaded and all of these things. So it's not just about talking. The Nigerian problem when it comes with our elections and the choices of the people counting, and also the choice is relative, because someone's choice as the good choice may not be another person's good choice. So it depends on how we work towards fixing the systemic decay that is affecting our electoral process. It's not about who defects or who doesn't defect, because whether these people remain in this side or not, I see it more as a psychological warfare going on. They're trying to say, okay, we are so insurmountable, we are so undefeatable, people are moving to us. It is just a psychological warfare. Is it possible that Nigerians might decide? It is possible. But do I see a way out? I doubt.
Okay.
Because the average Nigerian will say all good and everything. But when the time comes, everything is going to change. You see people, the people that will give you 100,000 reasons as to why they have to vote for this particular person, even though they know they are not good enough. So at the end of the day, El-Rufai might speak, another person might say what they need to say, but as another person alleged some days ago, he even said, Dele Faritimi, he said that maybe the election has already been written. It is just an allegation though, but it just shows the sad reality of our system.
Right.
So until we look at the systemic issues, whether it's about Nigerians or the politicians, something is wrong with our electoral process.
Okay, taken to you listen to from our guest who is in the person of Sir Benedict Oladekun Agunloye. He's an information professional, public policy and public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
El-Rufai has made a statement. Fadojoe has made a statement in the regard of Nigerians not defecting politicians to decide 2027 elections. And as we are from this end, and hopefully speaking the minds of family members listening right now, are we ready as Nigerians to indeed come out in mass and decide, become the decider for 2027 without allowing any form of vulgarity or, toutism to take over that process?
Well, I will say, when you go by that statement, I will not totally agree with him. Why will I not agree with him? An headless mob can fight, but an headless mob cannot win any battle. Right? They cannot win any war. They may fight and win some battles, but winning a war require organization, require an head, require more than just fighting, requires a measure of planning and organization, which the people as a people does not have. Now, when an El-Rufai defected to SDP and was saying, oh, we'll form coalition, we'll do this, we'll do that, where did he keep the people at the time? Was he looking at the people when he made that move? The answer is no. He was only looking for alignment. So basically, when you see alignment and realignment, we need to understand the philosophy of the people who are in power. I always tell people in 1999, majority, some of them were in AD. AD had their primaries and they have a presidential candidate. But because they knew that you need alliance to be more effective at the center, they had to drop the name of their party from the presidential election so that the election became an affair of PDP and APP, whereas the AD candidate was now carrying the flag of the APP into that election. So they have always been a people that seek alliance, and they would always tend to remain on their position. Whereas PDP seems to be a more people that wants to assimilate. They are like the French people. Just come to us and be part of us. We can't come to you. We can't reduce our logo. We can't do this. We remain who we are. And I think that is right. So when you say the people versus, it's not the people versus APC. If he is saying the people versus the politician, that would have been a definable battle. But when you say the people versus APC, APC is not the only political party in Nigeria, and they are not the only politicians. There are still Labour in some environment. There is ABGA in some corner. You've got PDP in some corners here and there. So to a large extent, therefore, I think that he should clearly focus on his own side or what he wants and what he thinks. He is not in position to decide for Nigeria. As governor in Kaduna State, he needed a rerun to win a second term. As governor, the APC lost every local government in the presidential election. While he was governor and was still with them, the APC lost the 3 senatorial districts in Kaduna. So the PDP, which at the time seems more organized and more in touch with their base than he was with the people as governor. So he should not use the same personal parameters to judge the nation. So I think that as a nation, we are too large for his personal parameters.
Would you also say that was the same thing that has been on Okowa's mind when Okowa said he was bringing, Delta to Abuja because this is where the resources as part of the reason for his move into the APC? And how do you also respond, to this very popular say amongst Nigerians, my votes no they count. Do you really think that that's the situation? Do you think our votes count or it doesn't count? Because this is part of what has been deterring quite a number of Nigerians from wanting to come out on the D-Day for elections. What are your thoughts, though?
Well, if vote does not count, I can tell anybody that in the last election, there was no way the APC would have lost 11 states where they were in control in the presidential elections. The fact that they lost in those states tells you that the vote does count. However, there might still be some issues, and we should then be spending time at this moment on re-engineering our electoral process and not on how to grab power. If the election process is right, then the right people or the popular choice of the people will be there. But you have seen politicians, whether in the ruling or in the opposition party, they've been more into realigning their own structure, realigning their own position, as against laying emphasis onto what will ensure that we have a more robust, a more transparent, a more fair and just electoral process. Well, as for Delta, I would always say that Akwa Ibom seems to have benefited in this regime more than any other state, despite being a PDP state.
Why do you say that?
Because you have the Senate President and the Governor who are in opposition party but never fought. I'm not sure you have ever any altercation between Akpabio and the governor, the current governor.
Yeah, yes,
Umoeno and Akpabio, in my opinion, are the best of friends. And they both are interested in the progress and development of their state. And they work for it at all times. So you don't see the governor come to Abuja and Akpabio is not around. Or Akpabio go to the state and the governor is not in existence.
But isn't that what Okowa is trying to do now? Because he is saying
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I get
that's what the people of Delta also seems to be trying to do.
Now,
look, we have our resources as a state, but we also need to be friendly with the government at the center so that we can attract all necessary development to the state. They are PDP people. PDP regimes are known to.
Hello,
you there? Sir Benedict, are you there? Okay, we'll get in touch with you in a short bit. I mean, Sir Benedict's right there saying, well, it seems like they're trying to maintain, good relationship, good rapport with the center, because if they don't do that, the people's interest may not be served.
I have a lot of questions, actually. I think we have to get back to our guest because I would want to ask him to tell us something, because it is democracy. Let's even see that in an ideal situation, it's supposed to be a multi-party system, and regardless of what political party you come from or what beliefs you hold as a Nigerian or politician, the interest of the masses is still supposed to be served, isn't it? Do you need to jump to another party for that interest or for that harmony to be seen between the government and the people, or for that true federalism to be effected at the state level? Is that a guess?
No.
Okay, we are trying to reconnect with him.
We'll just take out this time, take some calls right now. Hello, good morning. Hello? Right, that's a miss. Let's take this one here. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, please. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is CJ.
CJ?
Yeah.
Where are you calling from, please?
Aotaba Lesi, Karo local government.
All right, talk to us, CJ, very straight to the point.
See, what baffles me, so the whole state in Nigeria has to change to APC so that they will collect it for a center. The development in Akwa Ibom, is it getting Akpabio as Senate president? Is the development in Akwa Ibom? Please, let them tell us what we're supposed to hear. You understand?
Okay.
You defect. My problem is not even defect. My father defect to his APC or PDP. That is not concern me. What concern me is the INEC. The 419 that INEC played in 2027. You transmit and the whole everything to IRF, National Assembly, state governor, everything. You are telling us the presidential election there is a glitching. Is it not a defrauding Nigeria? What you give us, you test it in Abuja test run, and if everything is perfect. My brother, defecting or not defect is not my problem. My problem is INEC. How can they make INEC authoritatively that the INEC will transmit, whether good or bad, all the results that everybody will see? That is my concern.
CJ.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear us? Hello?
Oh, God. CJ. CJ, well, we just have to let you go, though. Well, just keep the calls coming through. Let's know your thoughts. I mean, the Delta State, former Delta State Governor Okowa had come out to saying that, well, his defection is a part of the reasons, or it's because
he wants to bring Abuja to Delta.
Yeah, and bring Delta to Abuja because there's a resource, there's something in Abuja that they need to tap into, and all of that. That should, the failure of not bringing the Delta to Abuja means that the people of Delta or the Deltans will not benefit. And it goes back to the thought, where I think you mentioned, and of course the last caller mentioned now, saying that, look, what is the connection? Are we really reflecting the yearnings of the people, or is it our personal interest in conformity with whatever interest it is right there is what we are pursuing? Well, we'll just go take this one.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Cassandra.
Yes. Good morning. Is this Honorable Edward? Okay.
I still my greeting to Odua.
Good morning to you, Honorable.
Yes, Honorable Edward.
Yes.
The governor, you said the governor said he wants to bring the Delta State to Abuja.
Exactly. He wants to connect it because there's a resource, there's a goodwill, message here that he wants to tap from. And the Deltan people need to benefit from it, as other, governors are benefiting, so to speak.
What do you? Those states that have been in Abuja for long.
Hello, Honorable.
Hello.
Hello.
We have PC states. We have 80 states that have been in Abuja for long. What happened to them? What have they achieved? What have they achieved?
Okay.
The Abia State governor is not yet in Abuja. But I'm not campaigning for him. You need to go there and see what the man has done. That is not a reason at all to me. Not a reason. Not a reason. From Delta State, who is to be in Abuja from Delta State, as the way Akwa Ibom is in Abuja. So, that shouldn't be an excuse for the governor at all. It shouldn't be an excuse for me. Because without coming to Abuja, he can still work. He has
Honorable, we can barely hear you. It seems like it's fluctuating, so to speak.
Come again.
Your voice,
your
is fluctuating, so you might want to speak into the mouthpiece of your phone and come closer to your phone.
I find it difficult to hear you.
Okay. Well. That's just what we find. I mean, and here we are talking about good governance because there's a belief that should we have good governance, all of this will be a thing of the past. Well, but let's quickly just take this call now. Hello, good morning. Is this Felix?
Yes, Felix from Lambert.
All right, welcome aboard. Talk to us, Felix.
Cassandra, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
You see, Cassandra made a very good point while you guys were analyzing the issue. But Nigerians are very unstable. You can't predict Nigerians. They are crying now, the things, this, that, the government is not doing well. It's not. When the time of election comes now, they will forget all this cry. Little pack of Magista and little Rapadia will just confuse them. And before you know, so we will be hearing the name of the presidential candidate. the son of this Joseph that or Mohammed this. It's very funny. And ideologically, maybe
Yes,
if we are keen to ideology, if you differ from me in what you believe, it may make us form different parties. But if we have the same belief, then there is no point forming different parties. But because we don't have ideology, we're keen to whatever matters for selfish aggrandizement, for selfish interest. All this issue of bringing Abuja to Delta and bringing Delta to Abuja is just frivolous excuses. How about other parties that are doing well, like Agbia, somebody mentioned, that doesn't belong to APC? Does he need to be APC member to do well in his state? No. So let our politicians have the interest of the masses at heart and do what is required of them as governors. Govern the people well, rule the people well, and the people will go for you and they will vote for you in the next election without even much ado. Thank you and God bless you guys.
I appreciate that one from you, Felix, all the way from Lamberta right there. Conversation still trending, but we need to go pay some bills, go on a recess. We'll be right back in a short bit. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Oh yeah, now logistics. Oh yeah, now logistics. 1, 2, 3. You want order food? Oh yeah, now. Straight to your doorstep. We dey come. One pick up something. Oh yeah, now. Or drop off something. We dey come. Maybe you need help for shopping. Oh yeah, now. Direct from your favorite. We dey come. You want order your cooking gas. Oh yeah, now. Direct to your doorstep. We dey come. We dey run massive discount. Oh yeah, now. Just place your order now. We dey come. We dey run free delivery when you order. Oh yeah now.
Hurry now and download Oya Now app on the Google Play Store or Apple Store. You can also visit us at www.oyanow.ng or call us on 080-8410-1000 or 081-2355-4000. We are available in Lagos and Abuja. Oya Now with the call.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Introducing the Mark Homes Limited, your partner in real estate, committed to turning your dream homes into reality. Now selling the Mark Royal Estate, a premier mixed-use development by the train station in Kagini, Abuja. Residential plots, commercial spaces, and top-tier infrastructure, all in one vibrant location. Coming soon in Gwarimpa, the Mark Mall, a bold commercial hub designed for visibility, accessibility, and long-term value. Visit us today at Suites 14, 15, and 16, God's Own Plaza, number 4, Takum Street, Area 11, Garki, Abuja. Log on to www.themarkprojects.com or call 070-7921-9075. The number again, 070-7921-9075. The Mark Homes Limited, turning your dream homes into reality.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Meet the Infinix Note 50 series, defined by pioneers who push boundaries. Its ultra-resilient armor alloy metal frame design gives you that slick, top-notch style. Unlock efficiency with intelligence of the one-tap Infinix AI and circle to search anything on your phone with Google. Need power in a flash? 90 watts fast charge rockets you from 0 to 100% in 38 minutes. Exclusive deals at authorized stores. Get your Note 50 now. The Infinix Note 50 series. Pro design, pro AI.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Right, it is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, Wednesday, the 30th of April, 2025. It is 33 minutes gone past the hour of 9. We're still looking at politics and current affairs. Our guest, Mr. Benedict Olaleko Agunloye, an information specialist who's joined us again. Well, Mr. Benedict, Nigerians are really talking seriously. I mean, they're still asking the matter that concerns what concerns governance, good governance. with trying to decamp from one party to the ruling party. How is that affecting, the governance, that's supposed to be given to the people of a state or a country? And there is also the talk about reforms for the INEC, that there's a need for serious reforms for the INEC if we must get it rightly. And there is also the angle of unstable Nigerians being as unstable as the waters. One time they be saying, oh, we don't want this person. Another time, of course, they're embracing that person wholeheartedly, and makes you wonder if it's the same person, that have made the previous statements. Now, we've seen that even replicate itself with politicians who, whilst in a certain political party, will speak so nicely, and then the moment they leave, they're already backlashing that, political party and telling us how good their destination, is. How do you wrap all of these up, as Cassandra might also want to add some more, to the discourse?
Okay, I think he should just chip in, and then I'll come later.
Okay, then.
Yes, please. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, when you come to good governance, does it have something to do with political parties?
Yeah.
Well, in the Nigerian system, the answer would be yes. In the normal climate, it should not be. But a lot of things about us are abnormal. And that is the practical reality.
Okay.
Like I said, the Akwa Ibom example is very clear. You will never have heard the current governor, right? You will never have heard Nomo and Akpabio accuse or confront or oppose themselves in public. But that is not obtainable in most of the cases.
Okay.
Sure, is one day, one fight, one day, one accusation. So if we have had an opposition party that is structured towards development and towards realigning the government to focus on the people, right? I think that we would have had something better. But we have an opposition system who is always thinking about the next election and how to grab power. So if power grabbing is the bone of contention, of course, good governance will be secondary. However, for the ruling party or for any party in government, one of the easiest ways, the next election is yours to lose. What do I mean? If you perform and the people are happy with what you are doing, they definitely want you back in the system. If, for instance, the Nelson loan scheme is quite good and a lot of beneficiaries are between the age of 18 and 23 and they are able to vote, if they think they have enjoyed the benefit of that system and they want continuity of that system and they are afraid that another party coming into power that has been criticizing it might stop it, that in a way can sway them to want continuity.
Okay.
If there are other projects germane to people of some state or some locality, and they think that, look, if this government is voted out, this project may be discontinued, and they want it to continue. So that's why I say is for the ruling party, yes, the aspect of reaching out to the people, not directly, not by campaigning, but by doing things that they can see. If today you say, oh, there are 177 local governments without effective primary health care, and you think that in 1 or 2 years, the federal government is going to give them a primary health care scheme. I was a beneficiary of primary health care in primary school. I was a very stubborn child. So once or twice, it has been the dispensary that saved the situation for me.
Right.
So for me, therefore, when you are talking about primary health care, I know the impact it could have on the locality, on the women, and on the children. So to a large extent, if the government of the day is able to do certain things, it doesn't matter what the politicians up there have to say. The chances are that the people at the grassroots will follow them. As for politicians, of course, we are the Ibadan general. He says Ibadan people are malangry politicians. He says some are bread and butter politicians in the city. But whichever case you see, you have your bread, you are looking for where to get butter. Or you see that some people are even taking the bread away from you, so you are going to those who can give you the bread. But in that way, you won't be abusing the people you are going to, because you think that your next step and survival in life depends on them. So I think for me, politicians are not necessarily meant to be trusted. That's me. I don't think any politician at all should be trusted when it comes to matters of politics and campaign. They are politicians in that case, and they can trick anybody to get your vote and to get you voted. that is not to say that that is who they are.
All right. Okay. So just quickly, when we talk about electoral reforms, because you said something before the first time that the call ended, you said it's about electoral reforms. Do you believe that the current dispensation has the political will or even the capacity to deliver the kind of reforms that Nigerians are demanding at this point, especially with the current INEC?
Well, I have always believed that there is nothing we don't have capacity for in Nigeria. Intellectually, we are the best in the world. I don't care what any record is saying anywhere. When Nigerians, you say Nigerian invested graduates are not employable. The same people you said have gone to engineering school are not employable, go to England and Germany, and before you know it, they do not just get straight pay, they are at the top of their class. They are Nigerians. They didn't get first class here. Some of them didn't even get 2-1. But when they get to the UK, they get distinctions, right? So it tells you that to an extent, it is certain things within our environment that is reducing or inhibiting our performance. So can we get electoral reform that we desire? I believe the answer is yes. However, to get there, it has to be the consciousness of all politicians, in which case, I may also say that we are likely not going to get there by careful planning. So if you are looking at careful planning or as the road to get there, you will think it will never happen. But we're going to make some mistakes. We've made some already and we will make more. I'm sure if you ask the PDP people who did the contract for permanent voters card in 2014, today they will be regretting that it was a mistake that they allowed the permanent voters card to come, but it's already here.
Yeah.
Beavers is already here. However, we still have the challenges across board that in some of our locations and in some of our localities, I think we have about over 186,000 electoral wards. Even in this city, it's not everywhere that the network is okay.
Yeah.
If you put an electoral ward near my house in Kubwa, you are likely never going to get any network to do anything because you need to go 500 meters, 1 kilometer away from the house if you actually want to do a conversation without breakages. So it means that if we are going to leverage on technology, we need to begin to come up with those technologies that are seamless and will not be hindered by the current inefficiency in the land. So it is not just talking about technology, it's not just looking at it from the point of view of America or Germany or India, but it's looking at it with our own terrain, within our own sphere. What are the things that we can do to mitigate the various challenges? It has been proven that election result entry point is 1 point, which is the polling unit. And so we should be looking forward to being able to have a data collation site, not just an IRED portal. IRED is for me an image portal, but we're looking at a data collation portal, right? We are all the over 176,000 electoral, not even the polling units can easily impute their record. And whatever they impute there, instantly, so it is not until you come from the polling unit and travel on the road and somebody can hijack you that the result will be reflecting at the 8,810 electoral wards. No, as you include them in the various polling units, the results will reflect. So those who are in the ward collation center does not need to come to you and you don't need to come to them. They sit in their situation room as the different polling units are finishing the results. The figures are showing. And when you now bring, whatever you bring is to validate what they have already seen. At the same time, the federal constituency can see across the 360 of them. The 109 senatorial district can see. We can see it across the 36 states. And at the national, at the federal, we can also see it at the collation center in Abuja. So when you are bringing the results, it is for validation, not for collation. Which is every result is entered properly and appropriately at the polling unit. And once that is done, over a period of the next 1 hour, that means that the minute the last electoral where the polling unit puts its result, we know the final result. So if anything is happening, you are only waiting for validation. It is not until they come that you start collation. Now that is possible is just a simple database, right, that can make sure that happens. And then we now need to ensure that, okay, what do we need in each of the electoral wards, to electoral polling unit, to ensure that this upload can correctly happen. I think those are the things we should be driving out now. Those are the things the NGOs in our election should be working on.
Yeah.
That is what the Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy should be looking at.
Okay.
That's what that should be looking at. And all of them sending their input back to INEC, so that INEC can also prepare an appropriate law and take it to the National Assembly.
Yeah, for yes,
before it is too late.
For yes and no, answer now, and because of time, do you think that the crop of politicians that we have right now are indeed in the business of prioritizing the affairs of the people? For a yes and no, do you think we have such politicians now?
The majority of them do not prioritize the people because the people do not prioritize themselves.
Okay. All right.
That still brings
Thank
it back
you.
to it.
Right. Thank you so much, though, for that one. Appreciate your
Thank you
thoughts
so
on this
much.
one. We look forward to more conversation with you, Mr. Benedict Oladekun Agunloye.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Well, this is where we call it a close on the Prog Show this morning. I mean, so much to say, yet time is very limited, but hopefully tomorrow we will have some other conversation that maybe not connected, but of course still talking about the Nigeria situation, and that would indeed allow for us to speak truth to power and change the course of things. My name is Udwak Daniel.
And I am Cassandra Yunambe. Bye for now.